On today we saw a lot of karting, of course. We're now going to have a look at the 100 Clubman class. The 100 Clubman class here at this stage in the karting event offers the competitors 8 laps of this Mondello circuit, and this race promises to be the culmination of a great weekend for the Lockery family. Earlier on we saw Donal win the Formula Opel race. Now his brother Cormac, his younger brother, is in pole position for this race with Finbar Murray alongside him. Paul Taylor in third place there has a problem and has not yet joined the race grid. It will be a rolling start as the car comes around here. Watch out also in this race. Down the field we have Gareth Fair, a late entry into this, and alongside him car number 59 Claire Bruton, who's mixing it with the fellas this weekend.
And they're just heading down to the start line now, forming up into grid order. One or two stragglers at the back, but as the lights go green, it's Cormac Lockery who moved off into the lead and heads up toward the... It's not Cormac Lockery, in fact. He's been bounced by Finbar Murray on the run down to the first corner. Now he's down to third.
Bad start for Cormac Lockery. That's going to upset him greatly. Gareth Fair also got an excellent start there. That's car number 69. He's made up many places on the grid. And Paul Taylor is at the back is out of this race, has not started in actual fact. He will be sorely disappointed with that. And
Gareth Fair looking over his shoulder there to see where everybody's gone. Cormac Lockery, the first of the pursuers as they head down to the double apex. But Finbar Murray, the man who seems to have his authority stamped all over this, or is it?
Just trying to get to grips with the race there at the back. You saw Claire Bruton, her sister Elizabeth, was in the junior kart race earlier on, and just to remind you that she is a daughter of Des and related to the former Taoiseach John Bruton.
These 100cc Clubman karts, same size engines as the juniors that we saw earlier on in the afternoon, but they're faster, they don't have clutches, which means if anybody should spin, they can't get going again. And that, unfortunately, is what's happened to poor old Paul Taylor, who never actually made the start. But we've got Finbar Murray leading across the line at the end of lap 2. The rest of the pack screaming around behind him. And, well, number 35 now mounting the challenge. That's Richard Nolan, who seems to have appeared from virtually nowhere, round the outside of everybody, but not quite in the lead.
That was a brave try by Nolan, but it has ultimately cost him places. Richard Nolan in his third year here in this karting division.
Gareth Fair there, number 69. One of the rare people who's done the ladder of success, if that's what you call it, in the opposite direction, because he's moved back to karting after this season up doing Formula V.
Good jockeying for positions at this point in the race. Just to make the point, Richard, that these karts, and we said this about the junior karts earlier on, they are capable of high speeds despite those 100cc engines. They can in fact match speeds related to a Sierra Cosworth here in this circuit. Now, having rallied a Sierra Cosworth, I can tell you I wouldn't too much fancy coming down here with the wind blowing in my ears.
And would you quite like another one 2 inches away? That's the question. You may see that actually the driver is putting their hand down onto the engine on the straights. What they're actually doing there is acting as a choke, just putting their hand over the carburetor intake, get more fuel through the system, gets them a little more power. And these engines, we've now got 5 people struggling to the lead. Who is it going to be? Karts can go umpteen abreast here at Mondello Park. 3 side by side, but through it all comes Gareth Fair round the outside to snatch the lead at the first corner. They're back in line astern until the next straight when they're all down out again.
Yes, car number 32 there is Mark McKenna. He's lying 4th in the championship. He started from the back of the grid, but he's also decided to get into the action here and having a good little manoeuvre on the inside there.
Indeed, they're a great deal closer while racing than they were on the grid at the moment, and about 7 drivers all with a shout of winning as they head up that slight uphill bit, over the crest and back down towards the S's. And in front now, again, we've got Finbar Murray. Behind him, it's Gareth Fair. And I can't quite see who knew in third place, dropped it back a bit, it's Richard Nolan, but that's all going to change whenever we get through the final corner and back onto the start-finish straight again.
The junior karts, which were taking place earlier on here, were from ages 12 to 16. The Clubman class is from 16 onwards up in age. There's no age limit, although mostly they're out of this division by about the age of 26, 27. There is a slight difference between this Clubman class and the national karting division, which is also for the same age group. This is the economy class. If you have a low budget, you haven't got too much money to spend on this, then this is the class that you would be in.
And karting, of course, a great family sport. And looking down into the pit lane, Paul Taylor still trying to get his kart going to see whether he can join this race before it finishes. But a lot of the drivers mechanicked and their teams managed by their dads in many cases. It's more prevalent perhaps among the juniors, but there are some big hairy dads here as well, and the dads have a grand competition and a reasonable time boasting about how the youngsters are doing later on. But the clump coming over the brow of the hill again and being led this time by poleman Cormac Lockery, his first time in front of the pack so far, and they're coming down now to complete 4 laps, or at least they will when we get to the end of this lap, getting closer and closer and closer, and it's Cormac Lockery leading into the final corner, but on his right, taking the inside, it's Finbar Murray again. That man Murray seems to be always near the front or at the front, and he is going to lead across the line this time, or is he? Because they're all over the place. Yes, Finbar Murray leads, but 3 tying for second place. It's that close, and those little engines revving to about 16,000 RPM. 4 laps left to run. The action's going to get more and more intense as the checkered flag draws closer.
If you take a fancy to get yourself involved in karting, one of these things will cost you about £1,000. You can get a second-hand one for a little bit less than that. A set of second-hand overalls will cost you about £100. A helmet about the same. Again, you'll be picking up a lot of these things. And for gloves, you can just wear a pair of football gloves.
And then all you need is the courage and the practice and the hours of midnight oil that go with working with anything with an engine. And we've got one lone straggler there, number 39, who got held up earlier on, Trevor Burt from Balbriggan. He's about half a lap behind the rest of them, but the rest of them getting closer and closer and closer as this race passes the halfway mark and moves towards a conclusion.
Trevor down at the back of the field there. He's in his first year. He has plenty of daylight in front of him, but he's out there enjoying himself nonetheless. Now, with something like 3 laps to go, it's beginning to heat up at the top. Cormac Lockery, who's our pole position man, he has got Finbar Murray sitting in behind him. The pressure is on now.
And Cormac Lockery, of course, a former championship winner, lying 3rd in the championship this year, but probably buoyed up by Big Brother's success earlier on. Brother Donald, of course, became the DHL Irish Formula Opel champion earlier on this afternoon. Cormac will want to add to the Lockery family's success rate, I think. And at the moment, he's well placed to do it. He's back into 3rd place there now because Finbar Murray's reassumed the lead. Now Cormac's up to 2nd, and it seems to me they're getting faster and faster as they get closer to the checkered flag.
Richard Norton, who's out there, car number 35. He is in his 3rd year in this event. By the way, the championship leader, Carl Lennon, is not here this afternoon for a chance for the others to make up ground.
So a little shot there of number 59, Claire Bruton, the only girl in this race who's running in that pack, and not too far from the front either. And number 54, William Goff, showing well there now, up into 4th place.
William Goff is lying 5th in the championship. He's also getting himself into place now with just a couple of laps to go in this race. There will be a right schmozzle, Richard, over the last lap or two as they jockey for the race lead and ultimately the victory.
Well, Lockery led Finbar Murray across the line there by the proverbial gnat's whisker, and it's Murray who's taken the lead as they head out of the first right-hander and up towards the left-hand bend that takes them up the hill and out into the country towards Double Apex. Who's in front now? Is it Lockery or is it Murray? Murray taking the inside line, Lockery on the outside line. He's got further to go as they go round the Double Apex, and it's Murray, Lockery, and then Gareth Fair in 3rd place, I do believe, as they come over the rise and back into our sight here from the paddock.
Unlike the junior carts, these Clubman carts go all the way around to the back. They've gone all the way down to Bridgestone, coming back up again. And it's Cormac Lockery with just that slender advantage over Finbar Murray in 2nd place. And they are coming up onto the main straight very, very shortly now, when they will see the board that will tell them there's 1 lap to go.
These carts, like the juniors, of course, only equipped with back brakes, which makes them snake viciously under braking. But it has to be said, they don't slow down very much for the corners here. 100cc cart is virtually flat out all the way around Mondello Park. Cormac Lockery onto his last lap, looks over his left shoulder, choking the engine there, but as he did that, it was Finbar Murray up the inside to assume the lead, and lead as they head up the hill and out into the country. Murray and Lockery.
Number 69 behind them, as well as Gareth Fair, a late entry here. He has come back from Formula V, in which he raced before, lying in 3rd place. And Finbar Murray just about holding on as Cormac Lockery continues in his effort to make this a good weekend as they catch the back marker there. Who's going to get through out of this?
They go one each side of them as they come up. No, they don't. They both went on the right. But it's Lockery in front as they come down to the S's. Murray sort of holding station on his right-hand rear wheel. They go through a left-hander, then a big long right-hander, short straight, and then a right-hand corner to the finish. It looks as though Lockery has the advantage, but has Murray got the answer as they head over the crest and into the final corner?
Here they come then, taking that right-hander, the former Dunlop former. It's Cormac Lockery, the pole position man. He's going to win this race. Yes, he is. Cormac Lockery wins. Finbar Murray is second. Who gets third place as they come through? It's number 69, Gareth Fair. Well done to him. So then, an excellent performance then by Cormac Murray. He takes the congratulations from Finbar Murray. It was a Dublin Meath race all the way through with Gareth Fair in third position.
But Dublin winning on this particular occasion, Michael. Yes, we've seen...